Hello and welcome everyone. This is Division 1 matchup between Rutgers A and UChicago A. I have here Keep It Cool, who's the top board from Rutgers at 2530 against the bottom board from UChicago, firing bishops at 2359. So obviously Ansh Shah here from Rutgers, very strong player at 2500. But UChicago, very strong team with a fourth board of 2359. This is going to be a tough matchup for Rutgers, but if they get a really good, strong performance here out of their top board, anything can happen. UChicago apparently is missing 3 of their top players, and they still have a very strong team. So UChicago definitely using the bench this season. They've been missing their top board, Wonder Liang, for a couple matches now. But UChicago's still doing pretty well, all things considered. And hopefully for the playoffs, they won't have as many missing players. We have a trade of light square bishops on f5, and now the queen comes up to d3. White has now just connected 4 pawns in a row. It's a very, very strong pawn structure. Black, meanwhile, has this triangle formation here, which is pretty common. This is a Caro-Kann defense advanced. We have a capture on h4. So black is up a pawn here. White can't take this. I don't see a way to take advantage of this. There's not even like a knight sacrifice with the queen coming in now, because the knight still covers this. But that would be one way to be annoying. I don't see any sacrifices though. The knight comes out now to d2. Just looking to get completing your development, looking to castle long maybe. Let's check out Song Song versus Vrama. Vrama is one of the leaders over at Rutgers. Song Song's the board 3 for Chicago. We have an isolated pawn here for black and an isolated pawn here for white. This queen's pretty well placed opposite this king. White has played f3, which is normally a weakness. This pawn does box out the knight. Black has played g6 with the dark square bishop on d6, as opposed to where it normally is for fianchetto on g7. Both sides still need to complete their development. Looks like this bishop might want to come to the long diagonal, or perhaps a6, hitting the rook. This knight is kind of in the way for the bishop to come out, but I don't think that you want to put the bishop on either of these squares anyways. White bringing the knight into the center on e4. Black trades it down. This might create a space for our knight, but this helps fix this weird pawn structure that white had. There's no longer an isolated pawn in the center. There's no longer a pawn on f3, so now the semi-open f-file is open for the rook, and this knight is actually hanging at the end. I wonder if you could take here. Can you take here? Is that a move? This knight, if it moves, it opens up the rook, attacking the knight on f6. Brahma with 4.5 minutes. Song Song now under 3. Thinking about this. What else is there? Okay, bishop e3. Very strong move as well. Unpinning this pawn. Also lining up opposite the queen. This bishop is hanging, so you can't quite unleash a discovery yet, but perhaps working towards it. What happened if what about the fork? Oh, you just simply take that, right? Because the pawn is pinned. So that's why the bishop comes out here. The threat is e5. So the knight comes out, hits the bishop. And this is a really nicely timed knight g4 move, because the knight controls both of these squares. So now the bishop's going to be flushed away from the protection of this. Assuming you want to save the bishop, you might just defend the bishop like with a queen move, saying that's fine if you take. But I do like this knight g4 move a lot. Just hitting the bishop. So the bishop's either going to have to move or one of white's pieces is going to have to move to defend the bishop. Oh, wow. We already have a result here from Keep It Cool. What has happened here? So this king didn't castle. This pawn just kept pushing. Queen comes in, check, takes here, and then knight takes e5. What a nice shot. Knight takes e5. You're just attacking g3. You're attacking the queen. And if pawn takes... Oh, queen takes c4. That's pretty. Yeah, that's real pretty. All right, let's give a point to Rutgers. So they're starting off with the point here. Here Vrama's still thinking. So knight g4, queen up. And we have this very interesting rook to a7 lift. Lining up more pieces opposite the bishop. But again, this pawn is still pinned. The rook does offer protection over f7. I think that's the main purpose of this move because the queen and rook are now lined up on the f-file. Any knight discovery will unleash an attack that needs to be dealt with. So black just defending this properly. Deciding not to take the bishop quite yet. If the bishop were to leave the diagonal, then this pawn will drop with check. So black is in no rush to take, perhaps waiting for h3 first and foremost. White lining up the rook opposite the queen, and now we do see the trade. Bishop comes here, very strong move, taking advantage of the pin and threatening to win the queen. So this has to be addressed. White plays rook to d1, defending. But now, can we match this? Yes. Adding more fuel to the fire. So, again, the threat is to take the pawn. White can defend with a move like this. But now, can we full send on the d-file? Is that what we're going to see here? Oh, bishop here to remove the defender. So finally developing this light square bishop. Everything seems to be coming together here for Vrama. Bishop pair working well. White's kind of tied up into this knot. How are they going to save the d4 pawn? I don't think that they can. The good news, though, is that Song is up a pawn currently. So after they lose d4, then the material will be back to even. And we'll actually have opposite color bishops. So white is back to having an isolated pawn here. Taking with the rook first. White decides not to trade. Black now is doubling up. You go here, maybe you drop this. No, so the rook swings over, giving up the d-file to the rooks, but tempo on the queen. The queen tucks back to d8. And this is tripled up now on the d-file. We can infiltrate. Is this winning material? This looks good for black. I don't see white's response. Maybe you go here. Huh. Here. Seems like they're holding on by a thread. Queen c4 now. And now what's the move? Ooh. Here. That's going to be hard to deal with. And this bishop is beautifully placed. So black's pieces are coming to life. White is on the brink of losing it all. Everything's held on by a thread at the moment. So they go for queen h4 instead. There is rook h3 here. Rook h3. Rook h3, and then you go to one of these two. Threaten this one. Probably here, so there's none of this. Okay, going here instead. So now we need this. Really no other move. Ooh, they pushed. Okay. Can we infiltrate now? You don't want to do this. You wanna get rid of this queen defending the bishop, but you don't want to hang f7. So this rook is a defensive piece here, defending f7. Starting to get low on time is Song at only at 30 seconds. What exactly is the threat? Oh, so bishop here, counter threat. So rook takes is a threat, but let's see how to break this down. I was thinking about trading. Try to double the rooks, but okay, rook f2, defends f7, looks for trade. It's a solid move. 14 seconds. 10. Gotta find a move. Okay, they trade. 1 second. Move. 2.8. Okay, g4. They found. Can we give check? Check? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Check and check. And okay, here instead. Wait. Oh, the queen defends this. Oh, that's a free rook. Yeah, they can't stand the time pressure. That was mate in 1. Ouch. All right, well, GG to Varama. Really well played. So the top 2 boards from Rutgers put in the work. Getting some points. Here we have 3 versus Wishinzug. Both sides very low on the clock. All right. Apologies for that. Let's see. White is up the exchange, but down some pawns. You could take en passant here. But looks like there's probably not a good way for white to take advantage of the rook. Looks like this is going to be a draw. Do they try to plan for more now? All right, so they take the draw between 3 and Zwischenzug. So board 3 from Rutgers, getting some points out of the board 2 from Chicago. This is the last board here. So Wizard Bar is the top player from Chicago, 2490. And they've beaten the bottom board, Vincent. So let's give them their first point. So pretty close first round, 2.5 to 1.5. Hello, Chess Jawa. Good to see you. All right, so round 1 is done. Round 2 is about to begin. Rutgers making it an interesting match here. All right, so we have Keep It Cool against Song now. Song still looking for their first points. It's going to be tough against An Shah from Rutgers, the top board. What do we have here? D4 with C3. Black kind of playing in this C5 structure. A lot of times C5 can be met with D5 a bit early. That's why you play E6. The knight has taken this dark square bishop, so white takes towards the center. Open H file. Maybe we'll see the rook reroute. Not so sure. Player's just developing the pieces very quickly here. Supporting the knight on E4, not taking right away. So black has the bishop pair. Taking with the knight here, leaving the light square bishops on. This knight doesn't have a lot of great moves from E4, unfortunately. We have E5 playing in the center. Questioning white's foremost pawn here. Let's check out Vrama versus firing bishops. Ooh, an exchange sacrifice. So white's just full sending it. Knight here hits the rook and hits the pawn. You could defend both like this, but no. They go for the attack. Knight takes, and now pawn here. I was thinking the follow-up would be E5, trying to remove the knight defending mate. So you go F5 and now not even taking the rook, attacking the bishop. So the bishop is pinning this pawn to the king. Can we consider taking on G6 right now? I'm sure that's what white's looking at. Black very confidently with a lot of time, just playing B5 very quickly. You could go bishop here, attacking the rook. If knight takes, queen takes is checkmate, GG. So what on earth is happening right now? Knight takes, and now bishop here. The threat is to remove the defender and take here. So firing bishops up a whole rook. Vrama down a whole rook, but a very, very concrete threat. I think black has to play like H5 here. H5 and then pawn takes. I mean, that's not looking too good. Pawn takes and you cannot take back, and the threat is boom, boom, pow. Oh boy. I think you can take on F6. Or, okay, F6. So, what are you doing about H7? I don't know if you can do anything about H7. So, pawn takes. Now, queen takes 100%. King here, only legal move. And now, taking on G6. F7 is hanging. You don't want to take, because then queen check, king here. Queen check is GG. That's mate. Ooh, firing bishops. Grabbing on A1. So this is just like a little bandage. A band-aid. I mixed bandage and band-aid, but yeah, this position is busted for black. It's game over. Okay, so actually just giving up the bishop here. There's no queen check either because the knight. So okay, check, and now do you take the bishop next, or what's the plan here? Oh, you take the rook, promote with check, queen takes, the only legal move, and now queen takes here, queen block. Huh. So now probably you want to retreat. Look at stuff like that. Let's look at another game. Oh, did Zwischenzug beat the bottom board? So 1.5 for them. Okay, so Zwischenzug's tied it. They do find Queen G3, so this is interesting now. Black's king is completely not safe at all. Rook D8 is something I would play. Queen check, maybe rook block. But this knight is kind of trapped as well. Ooh, they go here though. What? Queen D6? Queen D6, king here, knight check. Resigns. Yeah, firing bishops didn't find the right move there. So Vrama maintaining the lead for Rutgers. They're up to 2 now. 2 out of 2. Here we have the top board. Keep It Cool has disconnected. Oh no, but they have a ton of time. Song at a minute and a half. Song's got to move. I mean, the queen's hit. You just retreat. Right? I mean, just go back. They're thinking about taking, but like just go backwards. Or something. I mean, you don't want to be thinking while your opponent's disconnected, right? I don't know. Keep It Cool's back, so I guess it wasn't a big deal. But usually when my opponent disconnects, I like want to make sure that their clock's ticking down. But who knows? Let's look at Wizard Bar, the FIDE master from Chicago, up against 3. So this is a very nice bishop, hits the queen. The rooks are staring at each other awkwardly from afar, but they're not doing anything about it. Wizard Bard's in some time trouble. I mean, not time trouble, but like less than a minute. 3 is just 2 seconds under 3 minutes. Black has some space here, but I guess you could say white has the space in the center. Like this is an awkward pawn, somewhat backwards, and blocks in the bishop. So queen here keeps pressure on it. This bishop would probably want to trade itself. Like this bishop's very well placed, and I think that this bishop should be contested with a move like b6 at the right time. White or black is just going for this. They're saying we're full sending it. Ooh, let's look at Song. Only 12 seconds? What's up? You got forked. Oh my goodness. So, okay, pawn push. I guess that's why they were thinking so long here. It's because they couldn't help but get forked. But like what exactly was the point? Queen here. Yeah, queen here's a bad move because you're getting forked here too. So queen here now. Now you get forked. You take this, you lose the exchange. Bishop here. It's pretty strong. Okay, taking here, you're getting some material. Oh, but the rook enters the 7th. This is hanging. You take with queen. Yeah, you have to play here now. You have to play here. But what on earth is happening? Can you go here? Oh, you take here, you pin this. Queen takes. I'm still playing here. Like, I think you can take on f7, actually. Yeah, rook takes. Rook takes and then rook here now. The queen was guarding the square. So rook takes f7 is really strong if they find it. If you take, you lose the queen. Rook check, you have to block with queen there. Yeah, white finds it. So don't take. You might want to get out. The queen does defend the... Oh, you took, and now it's going to be GG soon. Rook takes, king takes, and queen mate. Ouch. Nice tactic from Keeping It Cool, who's now up 2 out of 2. So Rutgers is up 2 points, but Wizard Bar still has a game left for UChicago. They could keep it within 1. But Wizard Bar is down to 20 seconds. 3 has over 2 minutes. So looks like the position's pretty equal. They have traded the rooks, and now the B pawn is rolling. I like white's bishops better than black's. Looks like black is ready to play g4, are they, or no? They're stepping the king up first. Bishop takes back. I don't know. I would play g4. I feel like that's the natural thing. Unless you want to like shuffle your pieces around for 20 moves, maybe 30, 40, 50 moves, and then play for G4. That's a very like computer-esque thing to do. Okay, so the queen steps up, getting off the diagonal. King steps up. So, okay, the kings are entering. Now we have pawn here. White can always go bishop here at some point if they want. I think, yeah, you just simply go back. There was potential for a sacrifice, but I guess there wasn't anything there. Okay, so the queen's stepping up now. This should be like dead drawn, but you have less than 10 seconds, and now G4 is hitting. Taking. Ooh, they take there. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. Take, take, take. There's check. There's pressure on this pawn. You'd love to play here, I think. Ooh, okay. So, ooh. White has a forced draw. No, bishop block. Bishop block. Okay. Bishop block, check. Where do you go? King goes backwards. So no more checks. Takes, takes. You hit the bishop, hit the pawn. What do you do about that? Do you take the pawn now? I would take the pawn. You're up a pawn. You could also check and take. Okay, so just taking, now checking. Huh. Is this perpetual now? I think this might be a perpetual. Can you go backwards? No. They just drew by agreement. All right. Wizard bar getting a half point. So the top two boards from Chicago only going 1.5 against the bottom two boards. 3 gets 2 draws against the top two boards. So really good performance from 3. We have 2 games here underway from round 3. So after halftime, Rutgers is up 2 points, getting 1 point lead in both the first 2 rounds. So 5-3. UChicago is looking to answer back. Okay, so VGJ, the only player from Rutgers to not have any points, playing up against Song Song now. Matches only match with everyone here this week. Ooh, that's unfortunate for you guys, huh? Why is that? Okay, is the queen trapped? No, queen here. So Song Song has grabbed the pawn. White is behind in development. They need to get castled. Black neglecting queenside development. This bishop's not going to come out anytime soon. So bishop here getting ready to castle. We have all 4 games underway from round 3. Let's check in on Wizard Bar. Wizard Bar looking to get some more points. The top word from Chicago up against Rama, who's been doing pretty well. They're 2 for 2. So can Wizard Bar put an end to the Rama run? Rama's hitting the queen here with the knight. Queen steps up with the counter punch. F5 is played. This is somewhat committal. Okay, bishop develops in front of the pawn. This isn't that bad. Normally it's less than ideal because you want to move the pawn, but white has already cleared the way for the bishop to go to g2. Okay, knight hits the queen. Always love to develop with tempo. Queen comes all the way back. Now queen lifts. We're threatening to take the pawn. So looks like black is doing well here. White's saying, you know what, you can take that. That's okay. That's on me. White just ignores it, castles. So material has been restored. Black gambited the pawn and got it back. Now h6, taking away the g5 square from 2 of white's pieces. White can always take the knight, but you don't want to give up that bishop pair so easily. Now black needs to focus on developing this bishop somewhere. So the knight comes here, offering a trade, opening up the bishop as well. I don't think black will take. I don't think you want to invite white's pieces to the center. So what does black do about the bishop? It's awkward now to move one of these pawns, though, because the knight is hit twice, right? So maybe you do trade, and then you push a pawn. Okay, going here, clamping down on this pawn structure here. Perhaps going to put a piece on b3, although right now the knight and queen both cover b3. But this is nice for en passant if white ever pushes twice. All right, so knight into b5. Perhaps looking at c7. Kind of an awkward place to be. Like, you do get this tempo on the rook, but the rook can simply just move, and now your knight's on c7 for no reason. Only place to go from c7 is back to b5. But if the rook goes to b8, you lose protection over the pawn. There could potentially be bishop takes knight, queen takes back, and then queen takes on a4. But, oh, now can we do that? I mean, you probably don't want to. Okay, now the knight's definitely going to b3, though, 100%. You're getting the tempo. You're connecting the knights. This knight's no longer here to guard b3. So, let's see. Rook c3, lifting the rook. Pressure on the knight. Not too much pressure, but a little bit of pressure. This knight, maybe it wasn't planning on going to c7, but it is clamping down on the d6 square along with the queen. So it's hard to develop this bishop, right? Especially with this diagonal open on the rook. You can't just move the b pawn. So black is lashing out here with g5. This is grabbing space on the king side, but it is creating space around your own king, which can be deadly. I want to look really cool, or really quickly to keep it cool here, see how they're doing. So they've lifted the rook to a7. White has pretty strong central development. Like literally every single piece is developed in the center. Black a little bit cramped here on the queen side. Rooks are kind of awkward. Bishop now in the corner. Yeah, this is looking good for. Apologies. This is looking good for white. Although black is technically up material. So we have a trade of dark square bishops. Queen check. Probably just want to go back. So yeah, I mean, this knight is just so much better than this bishop. Oh my goodness. This knight is, it's glued in there. Black saying, please, let's trade. White can deny it if they want. They do. They go to f6. And now, what's the threat? Can we double and go here? That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good to me. This is starting to look very scary for black. I'm not a fan of this move. You would love to put the bishop here, I guess, but if the second you go here, rook here is just gonna crush you. Oh, doubling an e8, yeah. No, keep it cool is gonna lose this game. Song Song gets a win against the bottom board. So Song Song gets their first point. Vincent Gigante from Rutgers A struggling 0 for 3. Okay, king h7. But yeah, just rook here now. Rook d to e1, and that should be lights out. Very difficult to find a defense. Yeah, white finds it, offering queen trade now. Oh my goodness. You can play here. No, they trade. Okay, trading rooks. f7's hit, king g7. Makes sense. Now rook a7. Oh, wait. Yeah, the bishop's just trapped regardless. Uh-oh. Everything's gonna fall now. Everything's gonna fall now. There's no back ranks. The pawns are pushing aimlessly. Hopelessly. Ooh, big fork. Yeah, that's game over. So keep it cool, just playing for time pressure, I guess. But there they go. They resigned their first loss. So Zwishin's like 2.5 now out of 3. Tying things up for Chicago. They got 2 points this round. What's happening here? White's looking pretty good. So, yeah, black was lashing out on the king side. Ooh. Hold up. What is happening? Oh, the queen's hit. Bishop check. Oh, no. Oh, no. You have to go here. Now, queen check. Perhaps. The king is running. King here. There's no pin because the rook. Lucky us. So now what? Oh, bishop check here. King up. Oh my goodness. Rook lift. Hold up. Wait, rook f6 now? Was there better? Can black find this move? Computer says it's an only move. Rook f6 was the only move that black had to maintain anything. Now you go queen e7. Bishop e6. Oh my god. Oh, bishop e6 would have been gnarly. King takes and then rook e3. Okay, rook lifts. I don't know what this is doing. Queen here. Okay, rook e5 is nice. Ooh, but queen check, king back, queen check again. King back to d7. Pawn push. I mean, black is just playing down all these pieces on the queen side. Sacking the exchange. This is not going to end well. Check. Okay, now the bishop's open. Trading queens off. I don't know. I think Wizard Bar had better, but they're in time pressure. Ooh, king. Man, everything is just perfectly timed for black. They're meeting everything. They're gonna push the pawn. Oh, okay. Yeah, pawn push. Yeah, rook over. Okay, gotta bring the bishop back, I guess. Less than ideal. Yeah, white's much better for sure. Threatening a fork here. Bishop here. Okay, pinning the pawn. Rook here. Pawn push. Here now. Okay. Check here. Check again. Oh. Okay. Bishop blocks the pawn. King in the center. Oh, you're giving up this one for this one. I don't know. Is this gonna be a draw? There's no way. They leave the rooks on. Huh. Okay. Gonna go after this guy. Oh, taking here first is smart. Yeah, this should just be winning entirely. Yep. Bishop's hit. So how do you make progress here? Okay, hitting the king. What about h7? What happened to h7? We're not covering h7. Okay. Wait. Check, take king here. Hello? Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. I think you have to do that now. Oh, hello. Okay, Wizard Bar gets a win. Oh, firing bishops beat 3. So the fourth board from Chicago finally gets a point. Wizard Bar is now also at 2.5. So Chicago taking their first lead, I think. They just swept. Yeah, that was a sweep. 4-0 in that third round. Huge round from Chicago. So Rutgers was up 2. Now they're down 2. So this is a very big fourth and final round. Chicago needs 2.5 points out of 4 for a win. Rutgers needs 3.5 out of 4 to win. Very tough spot to be in for them. So really strong first half from Rutgers, but things might be unwinding here in the third and fourth quarter. So let's see if Rutgers can answer back. You got Song versus 3. I just say 3. Maybe it's just the 3. We have bishop here. A lot of pawns on light squares for black. They've played F. Oh, maybe they're gonna go for the checkers setup. Maybe we'll see A6 next. This poor bishop though. This bishop saying, please trade some pawns for me. I don't know where I'm gonna be the rest of my life. It's not even move 10 and the bishop's having existential crisis. Meanwhile, white has all their pieces developed. Queen to C1 here, saying let's trade dark square bishops. We have a trade here. Black saying, well, I'm just going to grab a pawn. Seems pretty fun. Yep, trading dark square bishops. Now taking space here. So this prevents black from playing b5. So white's like, yes, I understand you took a pawn. Congratulations, but you're not going to hold on to it. You're not playing b5. I will not allow it. No b5 for you, and I'm gonna get this pawn eventually somehow. Just you wait and see. So black plays queen to e7. I think the idea is you want to play for e5. You're also looking at some squares over here. Let's see the top two boards. About 40 rating points. Well, exactly 40 rating points different. Let's see. How do you take back as wizard board? Do you take with the pawn to open the rook? Do you take with the bishop? I would take with the pawn. I think you lose the diagonal for sure. I don't know. Either you give up the bishop or you give up the diagonal. They take with the pawn. So it comes with the punch to the bishop. Bishop has two real choices. Maybe here, but I don't know. Where would I go? That's a great question that no one really asked. I think you want to reroute to this diagonal. So I think you choose one of these two. Oh, okay. Keep it cool. Just casually disagrees. Goes to e2. Keeps some control over the diagonal. So yeah, now we have rook lift and over, perhaps. If you ever push f3, you got to give up the pawn with check. So I like black's position a little bit. White does have the bishop pair, but I don't know. I think this is somewhat annoying for white. Like these bishops are kind of trapped in a little bit. This pawn's pretty nice. Maybe here. Let's check in on back in with Song and 3. The 3 here. So black is still holding on to this pawn. The queen came out. There goes another pawn. So that is 2 pawns. What is white's plan here? Song. Down 2 pawns. And for what? Alright, so black is behind in development. This is true. How do you get this guy out? So you've taken this pawn. Ooh, bishop here. Okay, so now the knight has to defend. It's a little sketchy. You can bring the other rook over, but now your bishop's pinned. But maybe that's okay. But your knight's also pinned, technically. So maybe the bishop should just go back. Maybe. There's also rook f7. Guess you don't want to do that. So the bishop comes back here. What you really want to do is move the knight to threaten the fork. That's what you really want to do. Oh, firing bishops just won already. That's a fast result. An Evans gambit gone wrong. So yeah, why would you? Oh, that's a classic Evans gambit mistake, I guess. You need like bishop here, threatening this. Maybe just this or that. I don't know. But this ain't it, chief. Yeah. Ouch. Okay, so that's a big point for Chicago. So they're guaranteed at least a tie. So yeah, Vincent unfortunately unable to get any points for this Rutgers team on their 4th board. So what's happened here? We had bishop back and no progress since then. Song is still thinking. They're missing their 2 pawns. Let's check out Vrama and Zwischenzug. Okay, so black has the bishop pair, but they're down the exchange. White has these awkward pawns in the center. If black takes, white takes. My player showed up when the round should have been ending. Their player wasn't online. And his round 4 opponent is still playing. When you say my player, do you mean one of your teammates? Or do you mean your opponent? I guess you mean one of the players on your team. They showed up 45 minutes late. Their player wasn't online. What, their opponent wasn't online? And his round 4 opponent is still playing. Oh, I have no idea at that point. I think when the other team is waiting to play matches, like after 30 minutes, you just kind of assume that they're just not there. But like a lot of people leave early. But if they're still, I mean, if they were still in a match, did their opponent just finish or something? I have no idea. I would say mark it as a double forfeit, I guess. Let's look at Song Song. They're down to 30 seconds. Okay, so can Rutgers win the last 3 games remaining? That is the question. The 3 looks good. Keep It Cool versus Wizard Bar. This does not look good. So I think Wizard Bar should win this. Let's look at Vrama. Vrama's winning. Vrama wins. Okay, so we have 2 last games. Vrama is 3 out of 4. Not too shabby. Wait, what is rook check? Or was that a trade? That was a trade. Okay. I missed that was a trade. Ooh, what's up with this guy? All right. G takes. So black is doing well here. This rook got trapped. Guess you want to take this, yeah? Pawn takes. Queen d8. Knight back up. Queen takes on h4. Nice. Queen here. Did you go here? Bishop h5 looks pretty nice. I want the rook on the g file 100%. Yeah, you could go for queen trade. Only 4 seconds. Yeah, force queens off. But now the rook will shine against the knight. All forward knight moves covered. So open d file taken by the rook. Rook d2. Makes a lot of sense. So white has finally gotten back that c4 pawn. King up now. This pawn's defended by this guy. Just go here. Oh, pushing through. Now you give up a check. That's okay. You have 2 outside pass pawns. Save the bishop. Oh. Bishop here. Okay, check first is good too. Yeah, you're gonna get forked. Okay, now save the bishop here. Should really play this. Ooh, bishop here. Okay. Check. Let's look at the other board. This might be more important. Okay, queens. Blocking the queen's entrance. Very important. So Keep It Cool is trying their best to defend. If the 3... Well, so Chicago only needs a draw on either board. It looks like Song Song's going to lose. Down to 5 seconds. You can push this guy. Just push. Push. Okay, check first. And now push. Oh. I don't know what this threatens. Okay, you can take here. This pawn is covering the fork, which is nice. That's a free piece. It's very peculiar. Oh, I guess they're trying to save mate, which makes sense. All right, so we have a resignation. It's all down to this final game. Black needs a draw. White needs a win. The 3 gets a point. So 7-8. Final game. Ooh, White's up in exchange now. 11 seconds. 10 seconds. Offering rook trade. Oh my god. 5 seconds. They trade rooks. So it's rook versus bishop. But black has every single pawn left. What? Black has not lost a single pawn. Okay, they lost their first pawn. Wow, I'm surprised they didn't play g4, no? Oh, black is... Dude, I don't know what's happening in this game. 3 seconds for Wizard Bar. Wizard Bar just needs to hold a draw. Oh, but the rook's getting active. Bishop g4 check. King over. No, white's gonna win this. Oh, giving up this pawn. Hello. Wait, it might be... I don't know what's happening. Check and push? Wow. The pawn preventing the king from going towards the promotion square. The bishop's here to cover. Bishop's hit. Bishop has to cover this. 7 seconds. 3 seconds. Bishop leaves but covers this. The bishop's hit again. Bishop comes back. Oh no. Oh no. They're gonna have to give up the bishop. Oh, they give up the queen for this? Wait. Wait. No. No. Both queens on. Oh, but the checks are happening. Oh, and there's the skewer. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, keep it cool with a huge win to keep it tied between these two teams. Oh my goodness. What a game. What a game. Wow. Wizard Bar lose their last game when they needed a draw. Keep it cool. Keeping it tied. Ice in their veins. Huge win.